welcome. I'm Sam. This is Grown A Geeks. This is a quick little live um, a gag reel that I'm wanting to do just to talk about Spider-Man: Homecoming. Um, Had a chance to go and see Spider-Man: Homecoming tonight. Last night technically, and very excited for what I got to see. Um, First off, it was a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. It very well may be the best movie I've seen out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even though this was produced by Sony, it is still technically part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, they were very clear with that, and the whole bringing him in Civil War, that solidified that this is in fact, you know, it is Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's exactly what it is. Let's talk about all the good things that were in the movie. First off, Tom Holland, hands down, the best Spider-Man we've had so far. The best Spider-Man. Um, I was always partial to Tobey Maguire. I didn't have a problem with Andrew Garfield. I think he did a great job as Spider-Man when he was Spider-Man. But casting a younger actor like Tom Holland, who wasn't really known cinematically. He did some stage work. He was Billy Elliot, of course. In preparation for his role as Spider-Man, we saw that he did what's the show? Not dance, lip sync battle, and he was going up against Zendaya in that, and he showed off his dancing moves. Did Rihanna Umbrella? If you haven't seen it, find it. It's YouTube video. Maybe we'll post a link for it in the description later. Um, but he is a dancer, and that is kind of what he was known for. And he got an opportunity. He had some gymnastics training, and we've posted videos, and we've all seen some of the work that he's done to prepare for this role, and he knocked it all the way out the park. I mean, he did such a great job. He had the perfect chemistry, perfect balance between being both Spider-Man and Peter Parker, because Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So it was a fantastic balance, and Andrew Garfield, in my opinion, was a really good Peter Parker. Tobey Maguire was a really good Spider-Man, but this, it's an origin story without being an origin story, because you've already seen Civil War, you've already seen Spider-Man in Civil War, so they didn't go all the way back and show you, him being bit by the spider. They didn't, they didn't get into it that way. They they treated the audience like we were intelligent people who were coming to see Spider-Man, and we got to see his growth. We got to see Tom Holland get into this role and become this character. And as a result, he was. Am I not coming through? Saying I'm getting no audio. Try to talk a little louder. Um, but Tom Holland actually, you get to see him grow and become Spider-Man. You get to see him excel, and you see him fail and things like that. So you really get a chance to see this character grow. And in the midst of seeing him grow, it is it is fantastic. Um, Without a doubt, this is definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. I had read in a post someone else had posted, saying that Spider-Man 1 and 2 were probably the best Spider-Mans originally. This has now replaced those as being my favorite Spider-Man personally. Um, so Tom Holland was great. Some of the other characters: Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr. comes back full force as the Tony Stark that we know and love. This is the character that we enjoyed in the first Iron Man, in Iron Man 2. Um, After that, in all his other scenes, they kind of like, the character of Tony Stark kind of became a caricature of himself. He wasn't the person that we had in the first Iron Man. He had started to grow. He told everybody, "Hey, I'm Iron Man," and it was like that took on its own personality, and we got away from what we liked about Tony Stark as Iron Man. Um, but most importantly, he does not take over this film. He is in the film. He is in the film the way he needs to be in the film, and it fits. It works. It's smart. He has some, comical moments. They're funny, and they're funny the way they're supposed to be funny. It's not like we're gonna tell a joke. He says something, it's funny, and that's good because it's not forced laughter. You're not, you're genuinely laughing when something is said because it's funny, not because they wrote a joke in. Um, Michael Keaton. I'm beginning to think that Michael Keaton might be one of the, like, he was Batman. Okay, let's go there first. So he already understands how to be a superhero, how to be a comic hero. But as the villain, oh, I don't know that we've had a villain in a superhero film that was worthy of this type of villainy because Michael Keaton was he was harsh, man. Like he was the bad guy. And you could see that he was justifying what he was doing, and so it kind of made sense for him to do the things that he did. And at the same time, I can't really explain it without spoilers, so I'm gonna try to avoid that. But he was a fantastic villain. He was terrifying. He was a scary individual, and he made for a good, like a truly good villain. Beginning, middle, end. He held up, did what he was supposed to do, kicked some butt along the way. He was great. Speaking of beginning, middle, end, the movie comes in, boom, gets right to it. There's the first 4 minutes are already available on YouTube. You can watch that. I'm sure we actually have a spoiler link posted in our group, Grown A Geeks, on Facebook. Grown A Geeks. Um, there's a spoiler link that shows like the first 4 minutes of the movie. But if you just search it, you can find it. It's really easy. Um, a great start, opens up, treats the audience like they're intelligent individuals, and gives them something to work with. Going into the second act, you get to see the story arc. You get to see the conflict. You get to see the growth. You get to see everything you expect out of a superhero film. Um, Almost like when you're playing a really good video game and they start you off at the beginning of the game and you've got all the powers. It's really good. Um, Second act builds up the tension, gives you something to care about, gives you concern, reason to be worried. Oh, is everything going to work out? It does a really good job. But most importantly, the third act. The third act came through. It delivered. It was big. It was important. You cared. You felt emotions, and the story was just so well driven. And that has a lot to do, going back to Keaton, just being a good villain. There's that one big thing that's going to happen, and Michael Keaton goes into that and does it right. And as a result of him doing it right, you feel invested in what's happening. And that's very important because in so many movies, we get to that third act and it's just kind of like, mwah, mwah, because you feel let down by the end of it. It's not what you expected it to be. Wonder Woman just came out, great movie. Third act, the big battle scene, okay, but everything that led up to that point was great. This case, they didn't drop the ball. They kept it rolling, slam dunk, brought it home just the way they're supposed to. A lot of Easter eggs in the movie. A lot of Easter eggs in the movie. Um, Pay attention. Like you really have to look and watch and pay attention. This movie does such a good job of, you really have to follow the timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this movie isn't it's here, it's here, it's there. It is in every part. I mean, all of the stuff that happens in this movie, they hit on everything. And I don't want to say what all they hit on, but they touch on all of the key points that you're looking for based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know all these different events that have happened, and you get to hear those events and how they play out and how they affect this world of New York, because he's a kid from Queens, so you really get that coming across, and they do a really really good job with that. A lot of Easter eggs. Listen for names, listen for dates, listen for events. Some of the things people are talking about, some of the things you see. Everything's great. What really made this movie so good was we were on a journey with Peter Parker. They were not forcing a story to be told. It wasn't this event happened, this is the result. We were on a journey watching Peter go from Underoos to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And being on that journey allows you to grow with the character, be invested. I mean, when they got Daniel Radcliffe to play Harry Potter, we watched him grow up through those movies. And as a result of that, we were more invested in that character. And Tom Holland did such a great job of giving us that character. And this story, the way it's told, it's we're on that journey and we enjoy being on that journey, and it's a good journey for us to go on. And again, because there is no big intro, there's no backstory. Like, we don't have to see the radioactive spider bite him and see him transforming and things like that. And that was one of the problems that we had in the first Spider-Man. It seemed like he took maybe 2 days to figure out his powers, and he was like a great Spider-Man after that. Toby, because he was such a good Spider-Man, I think that's what took away from him being a good Peter Parker. We really just wanted him in the costume. Here, you see him putting on the costume, taking off the costume, putting on the mask, taking off the mask. You see that it is Peter Parker inside the costume. So when he's Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man. When he's Peter Parker, he's Peter Parker. Um, One very tiny little spoiler here, so we'll give it a second. Don't want to ruin it for anybody, so stop listening. This is the spoiler part. I'll wave my hands when we're done with the spoiler. Still listening? Okay. Post credit scenes. It's a Marvel movie. It's technically a Sony movie, but executive produced by Kevin Feige. So, of course, it's a Marvel movie. Yes, there are post credit scenes. Um, I'm just going to say, as you would if it was any other Marvel movie, stay to the end. Like, stay to the end. Watch the credits. Guardian of the Galaxy had like 3 post-credit scenes. Why are people leaving when the credits start rolling? I don't understand that. That still blows my mind. Um, and mention that it is being executive produced by Kevin Feige. One of the things that is important to note is that this is a Marvel influenced Sony movie. There's a few things in there that kind of let you know that this is a Sony movie, but you can definitely tell that the executive producer Kevin Feige was saying, "Hey, we have to make sure that we touch on this point, this point, this point, this point." And it was basically like, do what you do, and as long as you hit these key points, everything will mesh well. And they did a really good job of that. Like I said, this movie, it tells the story and goes through some of the other events. And there are some little things, like I said, those Easter eggs, if you really pay attention, you can keep up exactly with it as it happens, and you'll definitely appreciate everything that's taking place. Um, Final grade, I got to give this movie an A plus. I give it like a 9.5. This is almost a perfect movie. It was so good I had to stop and do a review on it just to say, go see this movie. Go see this movie. You will not be disappointed. If you enjoy comic book movies, you'll love this movie. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll love this movie. If you just like good movies, you will like this movie. This is such a fantastic movie. I'm very happy that I got a chance to see it, and I'm hopeful that you're getting a chance to watch this and you can just see in my excitement. It's like 12, it's almost 1 in the morning, so I'm trying not to be too loud, but I'm so geeked, and I'm going to go back and see it 2 3 more times so I can really focus in on the Easter eggs and see the things that I might have missed. Um, but that is my spoiler free review. A minus, 9.5. Almost a perfect movie. The things that I have gripes about are like so trivial, they're almost not even. Well, I guess to be fair, we have to mention what I didn't like. There's a couple of times, because of the CG required for some of the action sequences, it has a little bit of a look. I did see it in IMAX 3D, um, and I was trying to determine a few times if the images were blurry as a result of the IMAX and the 3D, or if it was just I was trying to look at something that wasn't supposed to be in focus. I figured that was the case. Overall, it still looked great, so it didn't really bother me. Um, but there were a couple of times when you see Spider-Man moving around, jumping around, doing things that it was kind of like, you could tell it was CG, and it just takes you out of the moment. But this kid right here, he did such a fantastic job as Spider-Man. I cannot wait to see a sequel, 2 3 4 sequels. I'm curious how Venom is going to play into this cinematic universe. If Kevin Feige's going to have a hand in that. If he's gonna executive produce that, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what's what. But Spider-Man: Homecoming releases tomorrow, July 7th. For those of you who have already seen it, put your comments below. We do ask, of course, no spoilers. Let me know what you think. If you've had a chance to watch the movie, if you plan on seeing the movie, comment below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video and you like what I have to say, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, subscribe so the next time we run some videos, you'll be able to be a part of that. You can find our group on Facebook, Grown A Geeks. Um, I am your primary admin there. We got a lot of great people in the group. We talk about a lot of different things. We've, meme central. You can get all your geek stuff out. Come there, hang out with us, hit that subscribe button so when we have new videos, you can watch. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm not going to just be, running on and on. I've enjoyed the movie. Hopefully, you go out, you watch it, you get to enjoy the movie. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a great evening.